Okay, let's be honest. Training costs money, right? We all know it. But what if I told you the real cost, the one that can truly hurt your business, comes from not training your team the right way? We're going to dig into how one simple shift can be a game changer for both your people and your bottom line. So I want you to ask yourself this right now. Is your current training program actually costing you money? I mean, you think of it as an investment, which is great, but is it paying off? Or is your current system, with all its little gaps and inconsistencies, secretly draining your resources? It's a tough question for sure, but we absolutely have to answer it. And here's exactly why that question is so critical. Look at that number, $10,000. And that's just the starting point for a single forklift tip over. We're not even talking about potential injuries or the big regulatory fines yet. A number like that, it completely changes the conversation around what training is worth, doesn't it? So this really brings us to the heart of the matter, the high cost of inaction. It's so easy to look at the price tag on a training course and think, oof, that's an expense. But the real hidden danger, the financial bombshell, is what happens when that training just isn't good enough. The best way to think about it is like an iceberg. What you see above the water, that's the short-term savings from skipping a training fee. It looks good, right? But underneath the surface, that's where the real monster is. We're talking about accidents and repairs, lost productivity, huge fines and insurance premiums that go through the roof. Those are the costs that can actually sink the ship. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we deal with that giant hidden iceberg of cost? Well, the answer is probably a lot simpler than you're thinking. It's time to bring in the hero of our story, the dedicated in-house trainer. Now, when I say in-house trainer, I don't just mean someone who comes in and runs a PowerPoint once a year. No way. This is a dedicated expert who is part of your team, embedded in your daily operations. They're providing training that's consistent, customized to your facility, and happening all the time. It's a total shift from being reactive, waiting for an accident to happen, to being proactive about safety. But why does this model work so well? I mean, what's the secret sauce? Well, it's not magic. It's actually based on a few really powerful, common sense principles that go right after the biggest weaknesses in most traditional training programs. Okay, this slide lays it out beautifully. First up, consistency. This is huge. Every single operator, whether they're brand new or a 20-year veteran, learns the exact same procedures. No more, well, Jim told me to do it this way. Then there's immediate feedback. Your trainer is right there on the floor and can see a small mistake and correct it on the spot before it becomes a dangerous habit. Third, it's customized for your site. The training is built around your specific workflow, your unique high-traffic areas, not some generic one-size-fits-all warehouse. And finally, everything is tracked. Centralized documentation means you have a crystal-clear record of who's certified and where your team is really shining. And let's just talk about the power of that consistency for a second. Get this. One warehouse reported a 40% drop in near-miss incidents in just 6 months after putting a single trainer program in place. That's insane. When everyone is on the same page, following the same rules, human error just nosedives. That's a massive win for safety. Now, let's get into a little bit of the psychology of learning, because this is fascinating. Did you know that most people forget 40 to 60% of what they learn within a week if they don't use it right away? Think about that. An external course is just a one-time thing. An in-house trainer, on the other hand, provides that constant, on-the-job reinforcement that's absolutely crucial for turning lessons into rock-solid, lasting habits. All right, the safety and learning side of this is pretty clear, right? But now let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about the dollars and cents, the thing every manager needs to see, the bottom line. And trust me, this is where the argument for an in-house trainer goes from a good idea to an absolute no-brainer. Remember that scary $10,000 number from the beginning? Well, here's how you get there. You've got equipment repair, which can be thousands. You've got lost product, thousands more. Then there's the lost labor hours, the downtime, and potential fines on top of all that. It all adds up, and it adds up incredibly fast. We are talking about a 5-figure hit from one single preventable incident. And this chart, wow, this really says it all, doesn't it? Look at this. The cost to train an entire team of 20 operators using an external company could be around 10 grand, but the cost of just one accident, 15 grand. And that's being conservative. When you see it laid out visually like this, the choice becomes, well, it's pretty obvious. And look, this isn't just some theory we're cooking up. This is real-world stuff. There was a case study of a mid-sized distribution center that was just bleeding money from accidents. They hired one trainer, just one. What happened? They cut their accidents by 60% and saved over $40,000 in the very first year. The ROI, it's not just massive, it's immediate. Okay, so maybe you're convinced. You see the numbers, you get the potential. But the big question is, how do I actually do this, right? How do I make this happen in my facility? Well, the good news is it's a pretty straightforward process. Let's walk through a simple 5-step plan to make this a reality for your team. It really all kicks off with step 1, picking the right person for the job. You need an expert, of course, but just as important, you need a great communicator. Step 2 is all about setting clear objectives. Don't just say, we want to be safer. No, say, we want to reduce near misses by 25% this quarter. That's a real measurable goal. Then for step 3, you and your new trainer will build a custom plan that tackles the unique challenges of your facility. Step 4, you've got to track your key metrics. And I don't just mean accidents. Track the good stuff too, like positive safety observations and how many people have completed training. And finally, step 5, the most important one, continuous improvement. This isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's a living, breathing program that's always adapting and getting better. And you know what? Following that roadmap, it does more than just improve your numbers. It actually transforms your entire work environment. We've talked a lot about the money, and for good reason, it's important. But the real impact of having a dedicated trainer goes so much deeper than the balance sheet. This is about building a true culture of safety, a culture of excellence, from the ground up. The ripple effect here is it's so powerful. When your team genuinely feels safe and supported, their morale just skyrockets. And that confidence, it translates directly into smoother, more efficient operations. When you have fewer accidents, your equipment is running more, which means more productivity. And your reputation as a safe, reliable place to work, that becomes a huge asset. It helps you attract better talent, and it really impresses clients and inspectors. It's a win-win-win. So, we're going to end right back where we started, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. The question really isn't, can we afford to do this kind of training anymore? The real question is, can we afford not to? At the end of the day, you have to decide. Is training just another expense on your balance sheet, or is it maybe the single best investment you can possibly make in your people and in the future of your business? The choice is yours.